Hi, I'm Jody Decker. I'm recording this video for the York County Library in South Carolina. Today we've got a yoga powerful practice. We're going to start standing at the top of our mats. If you have a strap or a block, you can certainly have that nearby, but it's not required. So we're going to begin in mountain pose, starting with lifting the toes high and then spreading them nice and wide as you go to set them down. Big shoulder rolls, up, down, and back, rolling them to the back of the mat. And on your next roll, try leading the shoulder blades down and back so they're reaching towards your back pockets, palms facing forward, fingertips actively reaching to your mat. We're going to close the eyes, and we're going to inhale, lengthen to the spine, exhale, releasing left ear to the shoulder. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Inhale, center, exhale, palms to the lower part of your belly, just underneath the navel. And let's begin to focus on our yoga breath. That's breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So each inhale, belly physically fills and expands. Exhale, belly softens as it moves back in. Continuing to breathe. The breath is our most powerful tool to help calm and relax our bodies and clear our minds. It also helps us to go a little deeper into our poses. So we're going to stay connected with our breath throughout the entire practice today. Using your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, reaching high. Exhale, slowly release. Do that a few more times. Inhaling tall. On our next breath, interlace fingertips together, turn the palms facing up, reach over to the left side, pressing weight into the outer edge of our right foot. Inhale back to center, and exhale other side. Inhale back to center, exhale, release the left palm, reach over with the right fingertips so our fingers are actively reaching to opposite directions, gaze is to the ceiling. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's begin a flow to create heat and prepare for our practice. Warming up the body. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Release into forward fold. This is a good place to have your block. So if your mat feels especially far away, go ahead and place your block there to close the distance. Regardless of the pose we're in, we always want to focus on maintaining a long, smooth breath. Breathe in deep through the nose, lifting up into monkey, long spine, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching all the way up, slight back bend. Have a seat. Utkatasana or chair pose. Let's repeat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, look up into monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching up, slight back bend. Have a seat. Chair pose a little bit deeper this time. And let's flow through that one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, look up into monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching all the way up. Slight back bend. Have a seat. Chair pose. And this time, pause here. Breathing 3 full cycles of breath. Focusing on our breath to clear our minds. Sink a little deeper into the pose with each breath we take, and on your next inhale, lifting all the way up, slight back bend, and releasing hands to heart center. Shake it out. Hopefully you're feeling just a little bit warmer. Moving into balancing poses. So for those of you with thicker mats, or if you're like me and you've got your mat on carpet, it makes it a lot more challenging to balance. So if you need to step off to the hardwood floor, this could be a little bit easier for you, or you can stay on your mat and have it be a little more challenging. So we're gonna pick up the toes on our right foot, and then when you go to set them down, you're gonna spread them as wide as you can and create a little micro bend in the knee. We're gonna come into star pose. So with your inhale, we're gonna reach to a diagonal. Leg comes out to a diagonal. We're stretching and reaching, we're balancing, so your gaze is locked onto a non-moving focal point, maybe 2 or 3 feet out in front of your mat. Using your next breath, slowly shift, bringing the knee in front, arms reaching overhead. Maybe this is your end point and this feels like enough of a challenge for today. That's fine, stay here. If you want to take it one step farther, take the hand to the outside of the knee, and then inhale as we extend the left fingertips towards the back of the mat, allowing your gaze to follow the hand. Exhale, slowly unwind, and then slowly release with control and walk it out. I can tell a big difference when I'm on the carpet. It's a lot harder to stay stable and balance. So if you're really struggling today, go ahead and step off to a firmer surface. Picking up our toes on the left foot. Let's spread the toes nice and wide, set them down, create space, find your micro bend, find your focal point, and let's move into our star pose. Breathing in through the nose, exhale through the nose. Inhale, make your way up to center, knee comes up to the ceiling, and again, this could be your end point, only moving into the spinal twist if that works for you today. Exhale, slowly bring yourself back to center, lowering your foot with control, walk it out, and let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly swan dive forward, taking a breath or two here in your forward fold, just hanging out. Stepping or jumping back into our downward facing dog. Take a moment to bicycle out our heels. So what I mean by that is just shifting one heel down at a time, bending one knee. We're gonna move into another 4-part flow. This time, we inhale both heels up together as high as we can. We exhale, bend the knees, hold and hover, maybe an inch above the mat. So core is really engaged here. Inhale, hips high. Exhale, sink the heels down. Let's do that again. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, bend the knees, hold and hover. Inhale, hips high. Exhale, sink the heels back down. Let's do that 3 more times, you flowing at your own pace. So let's try to allow our breath to guide our speed. After you've completed 3 at your own pace, we'll meet in plank pose. Inhaling, pulling our shoulder blades back and down slightly. Let's take the right palm directly underneath the shoulder, opening up into side plank. So we're stacking the hips and pressing the top hip up to the ceiling. From here, if you're able, we're gonna lift this top leg up, take a big step to the top of the mat. From here, press the hips up another inch or 2. So by pressing the hips higher, we should start to feel this hip and outer thigh open up. Breathing, holding. I'm just turning this direction on my mat so you can get a better visual of what we're doing. One more breath here, and then release back into your plank and back into your full plank. Lowering to the knees and bringing hips to your heels, relaxing back into child's pose. Remember, yoga is a process and a journey, not a destination. So we should be listening to our bodies and moving at our own pace today. Inhale your way up into tabletop. Let's take a few cat-cows, moving through Shavasana. So we're just inhaling and exhaling. Releasing our low back. Just a couple more in each direction, please. For today's practice, let's try to let go of judgment and expectations. We practice based on how we feel today, not how we felt in our last yoga class. After one more, we'll turn the toes under, send the hips up to downward facing dog. And we'll slowly inhale our way back into plank. So this time it should be your left palm directly underneath the shoulder as you move into your side plank. You can bring that bottom knee down if you need to for support. Let's lift the top leg and take it up to the top. Once you've taken that step, send your hips up another inch so you're really experiencing that stretch and release of the IT band. Remember, we want to make the pose fit your body. Don't make your body fit the pose. That means it should feel good. Inhale, leg back out, coming into our full plank, slowly dropping to the knees and pushing all the way back once more into child's pose. And resting right here for a few deep breaths. On your next inhale, we're going to take our thumbs so they're 4 to 6 inches apart. Fingertips will be nice and wide like a starfish. We're going to make our way back up into downward facing dog. Inhale our left heel high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, drop the heel behind you. Continue the twist by looking under the shoulder. Inhale, sweep the foot all the way up and through your legs. We're coming into a deep runner's lunge. Side view, it looks like this. Back leg long, knee is stacked right on top of the hip. We're gonna flow, inhaling, straightening both legs, exhaling, bending front knee only, 4 times. Inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, sinking down into it. 2 more times, please. On our next breath, we'll slowly drop the heel down to the mat, lifting up into Warrior One. If we tend to crowd our ears with our shoulders in Warrior One, go ahead and pick goalpost arms, or maybe better yet, heart center. We're gonna inhale, open out, Warrior Two. Arms stretching long, keeping our knees stacked right on top of our heel. And then we're going to slowly straighten both legs as we shift our hips to the back of the mat, reaching out as far forward as we can, slowly sliding down into triangle pose. Focusing on opening our side body, you can play with your gaze. Does it feel better to look down or up? On our next inhale, arms rotate to frame the foot. We come back down into our supported lunge and we exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, opposite heel comes high, 3-legged dog. Bending the knee, dropping the heel behind us, looking under the shoulder to continue the twist. And inhale, sweep the foot all the way up between our feet. So you're in your low lunge, back heels lifted. Same flow we did on the first side. So we inhale, both legs straight, hips come up, and then we exhale, drop the hips back down. 3 more times. one more time. After your fourth and final repetition, we drop our back heel down, make our way up into warrior one. Remember the different arm options. If this isn't for you, outstretch, choose goal post arm, or maybe even heart center. Warrior one, try to pull this back hip around so both hips point straight ahead. When we shift to warrior two, now the hips can open up to the long edge of the mat. Begin to straighten both legs, shifting our hip to the mat behind us as we reach way out over the big toe, making our way into triangle. So if you know where your gaze is resting most comfortably, go ahead and go there. Is it looking down towards your mat? Is it looking straight out ahead in neutral? Or maybe it's looking up towards the ceiling. Try to breathe into the tight areas of our body so that with each exhale we can release and let go. Releasing all those tight areas. Taking a moment to check in with your body, see how you're feeling here. And on our next exhale, bending both knees, dropping back down into the runner's lunge, hands framing the foot, stepping up and back, downward facing dog. Bicycling out our heels one at a time. Engaging our core. We're gonna inhale, left heel comes back up, three-legged dog. This time we pull the knee all the way to the outside of the elbow, squeezing through our side obliques. Inhale back up. Exhale, knee comes across the body. Try to make it to your opposite elbow. Inhale back up. And exhale, this time knee into the chin. Stepping forward, and let's lift up into our balancing crescent lunge. So that means my back heel stays lifted. So again, for those of you that are a little shaky on balance, feel free to come off to the hardwood floor. We're gonna slowly shift to the front leg, lifting our back leg up into warrior three. So side view here, ideally, you're in one long line with your toe pointing straight down. We're gonna inhale, bring the shin in to tap the calf. Exhale, send it back out. Inhale, tap. Exhale, back out. 4 more times. So I've got my hands at heart center. You can also be reaching to the back of your mat, or for the fullest expression of warrior three, you could be reaching straight out in front of you. So picking the one that works for you. We have one more, and then we're gonna meet back in crescent lunge. So dropping your leg back down, finding that deep crescent lunge. Inhale, arms tall, and exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, bring both palms down, stepping back into downward facing dog. This time, flowing through our vinyasa. So we inhale into plank. If you need to, drop to your knees, supported plank. Exhale, lower down, hugging your elbows into your side body. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, opposite heel lifts up. And slowly pull the knee into the elbow, squeezing through your side obliques. Inhale, back up. And exhale, knee across the body. Inhale, lift. And exhale, knee into the chin. Squeezing, squeezing, and lowering. Crescent lunge. Slowly making your way up. Bringing your hands to heart center, so we should be on the opposite leg. When you're ready, slowly shifting into warrior three. Find your focal point, and it's fine to stay here, holding warrior three, or perhaps finding your dynamic movement, tapping your shin to the calf, total of 6 times. The carpet really is more challenging as our double mats or thicker mats. So if you just want to test it out, you can certainly pull your mat off to the side and try the more stable floor. After our sixth and final one, we take it back to warrior three, drop into the ball of the foot, inhaling length, exhale twisting in one direction, inhale center, exhale other direction. Inhale center, exhale hands frame our foot. Take one last downward facing dog. This time inhale, shift into plank or supported plank on your knees, slowly lowering all the way down, and let's move into locust pose. So I'm going to turn so you can see me on my mat. Hands resting by your sides, palms facing up. We're going to inhale, peel the chest up, and if you want, at the legs. Exhale, lower down. Let's flow. So 8 times inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Using our breath to guide our pace. Each move is slow and controlled. Actively reach the fingertips towards the heels. When you've reached your 8th and final repetition, let's go ahead and hold up, interlace fingertips together, open up the chest, expand a little deeper. And exhale, release, resting one cheek to the mat. Taking a breath or two in neutral, and then pushing up and back. Coming into child's pose. Breathing and resting here, head between your arms. Inhaling your way back up into tabletop. Let's take one last round of cat-cow. Inhaling, exhaling. You should still be feeling warm. We've created a lot of heat today. One more, please, in each direction. And then we're going to move along to the edge of our mat, setting up for frog pose. So if you have a block, you might want to put that there, or if you don't have a block, maybe a pillow or even two, so that you can rest your forearms onto the pillows. So in frog pose, we just walk the knees out as far as we can, and then you want to try to keep your heels in with the knees. So walking them out, coming onto your forearms, and then keeping the heel in line with the knee. So what we're doing is opening the adductors, opening up our inner thighs. So getting a good inner thigh stretch. Maybe you want to stack the fist, rest the forehead. Again, breathing breath into the tight areas of your body so that when we exhale, we can visualize those areas releasing and letting go so that we can release a little deeper into the stretch. Hips are also in line with the knees, so if you're way out here, you won't feel it quite as much, and same for way over here. So focusing on the inner thigh, knee, and hip, stay in a line. Let's just hold for one more cycle of breath. And then to come out, let's extend one arm and then the other. Just gently pull in one knee, and then the other, dropping over to your hips. Bringing our legs around, staff pose, flex the feet, big inhale up, exhale, forward fold. One more powerful pose. Let's do Navasana, which is our boat pose for our core. So start by engaging your core, palms by your hips. You're gonna pull the navel in towards your spine. You can lift one leg or both. You can also lift the arms. Try to maintain a long spine. Tight core, breath is deep. 2 more full cycles of breath. And then we'll release palms, so fingertips point in towards the heels as we lift up into reverse tabletop. Exhale, hips another inch higher. This should feel like a nice stretch across the chest and into the front of the shoulders. Exhaling our tailbone down. Gently release back to your forearms until you're all the way down to your back. Let's begin with our arms outstretched. Shift your hips to the right 2 inches, and let's release both knees to the left and just settle into a spinal twist. If you want more, take your gaze and look away from your knees. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, shift the hips to the left an inch or two. Drop the knees to the right and begin with your gaze in neutral. And then if this is okay, you're welcome to turn your gaze, look away. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Hug the knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. And then reach for the outer edge of each foot. Coming into happy baby. Here we try to stack our heels on top of the knees. And if it's comfortable, maybe you can gently rock from side to side, massaging the spine. Finding stillness in the center. Let's release the right leg. And then the left. Inhaling, reaching arms all the way up overhead. Full long body stretch. Exhale, release. Hands into our sides. Preparing for final relaxation or Shavasana. So if you have something nearby, like a chair, you could take your final relaxation with your legs on the chair, simulating legs up the wall. You could also stack a couple pillows and place the pillows underneath the knees, just for something a little different. The important thing is that you're finding a neutral resting position for your body today. So if that's not on your back, I'll invite you to move over and roll to one side, or even come up into a seated position. Whichever position you choose, let's close our eyes, begin our deep belly breathing, and give ourselves this time to let both our minds and our bodies simply be. Keeping our eyes closed, slowly begin to bring your awareness back into this space. Begin to awaken your body by gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. And on our next inhale, take our right arm overhead so that you can slowly roll to your right side, knees staying bent in fetal position. And using our next breath, press the palm into the mat as we make our way up into a comfortable seated position, finishing with a cleansing breath, inhaling arms tall, big audible exhale through the mouth. And one last deep breath in. This time exhaling, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed power yoga today.